About 7 years after starting work in this business, I had the great privilege to have my mother be able to share her gifts. Next week will be the 17-year anniversary of my mother's passing. And since that time, my mother's brother has also passed waiting for a life-saving heart transplant. And another one of my mother's brothers was given the opportunity to give the gift of life of being a live kidney donor for his wife. Am I proud of my mother? Of course I am. I'm proud of every single donor, both living and deceased. My mother passed away early in my career, and I'm going to tell you a story about my mother. So, as I mentioned, I have been working in this business a couple of years early in my career when my mother had passed and became a donor. And so a whole lot of years had gone by, and I was sitting in my office, and I was working at a transplant hospital. I was their director, and I got a call from the hospital operator. It was a wife of a donor, and she wanted to know what had happened to her husband's gifts. And of course, I was not the correct person to contact, right? So I call on down to Gift of Life, I know all these people, of course. I'm at a transplant center that's my local OPO up there. And I get the Family Services Liaison equivalent there at the time. And I explained to them, what the call was that I incorrectly got and who this was and what they were looking for. But that day, there was something that just overcame me. I wouldn't say it was, a moment. It just was natural. That I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, my mother was a donor a couple of years ago, and we never heard what happened to her gifts, and the Family Services Liaison, or the manager, I don't remember who it was, said, well, do you want me to find out? And me being, of course, a transplant executive, no, I don't need to know that. You are too busy. Please focus on these precious donors and these recipients. No, I don't need to know. No, of course not. And I had forgot about that call. On Valentine's Day, I got a letter to my home that was from Gift of Life in Philadelphia with the details of the recipients of my mother's tissue gifts. It dropped me. 80 plus recipients in over 15 states between the ages of mid-teens to late 80s had been recipients of my mother's gifts. In that moment, did not realize how much I did need to know. But we too in this business, when you're in the business of serving others, you forget that we have needs too. You forget that our story is meaningful to other people, and that the connections that we have, whether it be direct or indirect, are what bring us together and make us proud of being part of work. And at the end of the day, I just keep coming back to how lucky am I that there are people that still allow me to work with them and contribute to this work. So yes, I am incredibly proud of my mother. I have the greatest job in the world, and it is such a blessing every single day to be a part of this work.